We don't get this time back. This is it. Like, our time is so valuable. I'm telling you, life is short. And I know we've all heard that, but think about how short life actually is. It's officially been a whole month since I have been a part-time employee and have left full-time life in the dust, left it behind completely. If you missed the videos that I made documenting that journey of being burnt out from work, I'll catch you up real quick. Essentially what happened is that there was a major change within my role at my job that I just did not align with. And then there started being more changes. And so by the time I realized I was burnt out from work, I'd been in my company for about 8 years. And this change, the big change happened, let's say about 8 months prior. When I officially realized I am burnt out, I no longer want to do this. I want to apply for a different position within my role. I began doing so, let's say about closer to 10 months after this change. I gave it all I had, and mind you, this position that I was in, I loved it so much. I had been doing it for several years and it was for me. But this change just made me realize that I don't enjoy what I do anymore. It's not for me. I really just need to get out of this. So from that point on, I spent 16 months applying to different positions within my company. I first started out very confident that I could move on, I guess just because I've always excelled in my role. But now I'm applying to other positions that are not in my role, with people who don't know me and my work ethic and things like that. And I applied for 18 different positions in these 16 or so months, and I did not get even an interview, which was very discouraging. My burnt out got severely bad. To give a little bit more context, I was in fraud investigations for years, and then I had moved to an escalated role where I oversaw the other investigations, and I was there for 3 months when this big change happened. After about 8 months, I began applying to other positions, and I had did that for about 2 to 3 months. After I wasn't getting anything, I decided to go back to being an investigator to reduce my burnout, which worked a little bit, but I was still impacted by it. And plus, once you start not liking your job so much, there's little things that really just start to get to you. My burnout was to a very bad point at this point. I was crying on and off the clock. I did not have motivation, was very anxious. I had the Sunday scaries. My mental health deteriorated very terribly. I was stressed out. I feel like I couldn't do anything outside of work. I think also it was me not enjoying what I was doing paired with me working 40 hours a week. And it took me until December of 2024 to realize that I don't need another position. I need to work less, to be very honest with you. Because what started out as me just hating my job and me not enjoying the work I was doing, it wasn't easier the fact that I could not even take the time that I had at home to enjoy that time and just be present at home, because working all day really left no time for myself. By the time I clock out, it's almost dark outside. If I want to go do an appointment, if I want to enjoy my time off, I really have to take PTO, and my PTO was deteriorating because I needed a mental health day sometimes or whatever, what have you. In July of 2024, it got really, really bad just because anytime something would happen, it just felt really blown up in my mind, or things would happen that were just so wrong and I didn't feel like I deserved. I was already so mentally exhausted and didn't have the mental capacity to handle a lot of things. So when something did happen, it was way worse and I really just couldn't take it. Finally, July 1st, I did take a short-term disability leave. Thankfully, I was paid for the 12 weeks that I took off. A lot of people might say, well, why not just quit? Now, as it stands now, here in February 25, I've been with the company for 9.5 years. Again, love the company as a whole, does a lot more than a lot of companies out there. 4 months of maternity leave, the match I had being fully remote. I had already worked up my tenure within this company and was making an amount of money that I was happy with. And I know that if I just left and went someplace else, I'm not going to be making the same amount of money right out of training, just so many things, especially being fully remote. Especially in this climate that we're in now, you guys know there's not a lot of places out there that let you be fully remote. Everybody wants to go back in the office for no reason. And then also just on top of all of that, change, it can be hard. So was happy with the company, just wasn't happy within my role, didn't want to leave. My upcoming mortgage payoff was set for July 2025. Me cutting my income in half, that's less than we can put towards our goals. I didn't want it bad enough yet to, stop what I was doing. Took my 12 weeks off, met with a therapist as required by my doctor, came back the last week of September, was feeling good at first, but I know that I wasn't cured per se, you know, like just taking some time off. I'm still going back to the same environment, but it was good for me. It was good because it allowed me to have mental capacity, take a load off. I could get a bunch of appointments done, you know, during these 12 weeks that before I couldn't even really go to appointments without taking PTO. And that just stresses you out within itself because it's like I'm running out. I was halfway through the year and I probably had about 6 days of PTO left for the remainder of 2024. December came, I got my 18th rejection. And I was just like, I'm so sick of this. I'm so stressed out because I have no time to myself. I don't have the motivation to clean my house. Like mentally, I'm in a very bad spot. I don't want to live my life like this. What do we hear people say who are like older, retired, or just in general? What do they say? If they could change one thing about their life, it's always to spend more time at home with their family or not working. You know, they commit so much time to their job for what? These jobs, it's a business at the end of the day. And so I feel like that really spoke to me even in my late 20s, just no longer feeling like 40 hours was the way to live. And I still don't feel that way. Like in general, I feel like that's not the way to live, especially when it's 2 people in the household working full time, throwing cleaning in the mix, kids in the mix. Like you can't tell me that you're doing things on your weekend and still able to fully clean your home. And that's just the bare minimum, let alone going to an appointment, getting your teeth cleaned, going to a checkup, let alone appointments for 2 more people that I'm responsible for. So it was all just too much. And after I got that 18th rejection, I'm just like, you know, at the end of the day, I kept applying because I felt like the worst they could say is no, and I'm not going to get out of my role until I get a yes. But then I realized even more that what I want more than anything is to have time to myself, not to be working the same time that companies, businesses that you need to work with, appointments. It's the same time that they're open. It's impossible. So I finally said, you know what? I officially want to better my mental health and have mental capacity more than I want to have my house paid off by July. It honestly reminded me of giving birth to my second child because even though I had went through childbirth before, my anxiety in general was already so bad that I was just terrified of this needle. And it's like these contractions have to be bad enough for you to want to feel better more than you care about this needle. That isn't even anything compared to contractions. Anyway, first thing I did was tell my husband, I think I'm ready to stop working full time. I think I want to work part time. And he's like, let's do it. You know, and I did it. I put the request in. I will say that I was even more anxious, waiting to hear back to see if it was approved or not. Working part-time has changed my life completely, night and day. The crazy thing is that working full-time, it shouldn't be the norm. I don't know how people like work 40 hours a week and then take their kids to soccer, dance, football practice, softball, like I don't understand that. I'm just trying to clean my house, do laundry, mop the floor, all within the, 12 hours that you're up on the weekends. And that was too much for me. And then it's like when I would clock out during the week, mentally I'm exhausted. You work all day doing stuff. Mentally, I just want to sit on the couch, but I can't because laundry needs to be done, kids need to be fed, and then the short amount of time you get to yourself or with your spouse is a whole nother thing. Now I work 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Monday through Friday. I already got 5 weeks of PTO at my job when I was working full time. Now how it works out is it actually comes to be more than 6 weeks. On top of that, my job pays for several holidays automatically. They give us 2 to 3 extra days on top of that. So I'm feeling amazing. I've already taken like 2 days of PTO in January, and then effective now I'm off for like the next 10 days, taking 5 days of PTO all next week. And then I'm taking the Monday after is President's Day. So my job's paying for that. My point is I feel amazing now. Clocking out at 12 o'clock, to be honest with you, it goes so fast. Sometimes I'm like, I could probably like work for like another 30 minutes, but that's just because my brain is still getting accustomed to cutting it off. Genuinely, I feel happier. Not only at home, but then just doing my job. I will say that before, the hardest part about doing my job was honestly the meetings and just having to, it sounds bad, but interact with my manager, because I've talked before about how I just have a hard time finding managers that I can really, like, they just get me. A little over a year ago, I had switched away from a manager who did really get me, but that was trying to just better my mental health because of the position I was in. Haven't had a manager that gets me in a while, but anyway, the meetings were hard because obviously I'd have to interact with them. Now, working 8 to 12, I miss the weekly meeting, thankfully, I can really just be to myself. I haven't talked to my boss in like 2 weeks, and that was because we had a one-on-one for a monthly review that we have to do. To be very honest with you, moving forward, I think I'm gonna just say, hey, how about you just send my monthly review to me? Let's not talk about it, because honestly, we don't agree on it. That's a conversation for another day. Being able to just really be to myself, do my work, clock in, focus. And the ongoing thing that people say is, we have 8 hours of working every day, but how many hours do we actually need to work? Do we really need 8 hours, or could we get things done sooner? Granted, I have half the workload now, so it's a little bit different. I've done so many things, even in the past month. I visited my grandfather, who's elderly. He's not getting any younger. He's in his late 80s now. Felt no rush. Didn't feel like, oh my gosh, it's getting dark outside, I need to get home. Like, didn't feel stressed. Like, just thinking about how I used to feel is making me feel a little anxious. I don't want to live like that ever again. Was able to visit him for hours and just really spend that time and be present. Didn't feel rushed at all. Took my youngest with me. It's been a while, and we were present and we were there. I've been able to do things for myself and not just the corporation. I remember working full time and feeling like I could be doing more stuff to better myself right now, but instead I'm sitting in this random meeting that is pointless. It's truly how I would feel a lot of time. So far in the 45 days we've had of 2025, I've made 2 different guides that I probably would have loved to make a long time ago. My Road to Home Ownership guide, my Mortgage Payoff guide. I've released both of those within like 10 days apart. I've been able to start making an income from that. Really pouring into myself. I've been able to be more present on YouTube. Before, it would be so stressful to try to squeeze some time to film videos, edit videos, post videos. I've been able to do so much more. I don't feel stressed to clean the house. Guys, you don't get actually enjoying cleaning, but then not having the mental capacity to do it. Like, I've used our Hoover and I've cleaned carpets, I've cleaned the couch, trying to squeeze all of that, I'm telling you, into a weekend. It's too much. I've been able to go on walks. When it comes to picking up my oldest from the bus stop, before I would have to take my break time, which I would have 30 minutes of break time, paid break time, and then a 30-minute unpaid lunch. I would try to, on certain days, keep that 30 minutes for the end of the day to go get my son from the bus stop, rush to get him, rush to come back. I remember one time last school year where they were just super behind, and it was like freaking negative 15 degrees. I basically almost went over my 30 minutes waiting for the bus. Just so stressful. I'm able to now eat my lunch. I don't have to rush and eat in 30 minutes. I can sit there and relax and eat my food like a normal human should be able to do. I can relax. I can get things done. I can watch TV. I can sit on the couch and then, oh, okay, it's time to go get him now. Like, it's not rushed and stressful. I'm able to get the medical attention that I need for me and my kids, appointments. Think about how much people actually put off because they're at work. Oh, I haven't been to the doctor in a couple of years. I work too much. Or just think about all the excuses that people give because they say they work too much. We don't get this time back. This is it. Like, our time is so valuable. I'm telling you, life is short, and I know we've all heard that, but think about how short life actually is. Think about how fast the last year alone has gone. We don't have time to really put into ourselves, exercise. There's no way we can work 8.5 or 9 hours, or even if you work overtime, which I only stopped doing in October of 2023, that's a whole nother story if you're working more than you're required to. Now, if you're someone who is on a short-term goal, like when we were paying off debt, I did work 12 hours a day, a lot. That was probably in 2018, 2017, and I don't regret doing that. I don't regret doing, honestly, any of the things that I've done to get us to where we are financially now. Was it hard? Absolutely. In the moment, I was able to do it, and it's gotten us so far. I'm honestly thankful that we've put in so much work, and now our balance on our mortgage is less than $30,000. I didn't think this would happen, but our mortgage payoff plan is only getting delayed by 3 months. It's just worked out. Not only that, but I'm able again to pour into myself, find other ways to make money to make up for what I'm losing out on. All the things we put aside for our job, it's not healthy. It's impossible to do a lot of the things that we really need to do because of working so much. Sunday scaries are completely gone. Like, I'm not feeling so anxious anymore when it comes to work. And I want that for everyone. I wish it wasn't the norm, because I think that when the 40-hour work week was created, I think that there was a lot of stay-at-home moms, stay-at-home wives, and someone was maintaining the household. I'm trying to do it all. I'm trying to maintain and manage this household, set up appointments, transport people to appointments, get us there, try to plan everything. It was so much. I just never want that for myself or for anyone. I know that we worked so hard to get here. And honestly, it feels like the best of both worlds because I still get a 401k match. I still get affordable health insurance. I'm fully remote. Like, what more could I really ask for? I work 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and that's it. So it's been a dream. I had a lot of realness and authenticity and just transparent, vulnerable moments on this channel. I made a whole playlist about it, but now that I have gotten over that hump, I no longer feel burnt out at work. I have work-life balance that I feel like I truly needed, everyone needs. I'm in a way better place mentally. It's amazing, and all I can really say is how thankful I am, but also spread the word that I just feel like everyone should get to this point because truly, I don't think that we are meant to work as much as we are accustomed to doing. If you love your job, that's great. I love that for you. I'm not saying no one should work. I'm just saying that 40 hours a week isn't healthy, and I don't feel like it's a work-life balance at the end of the day. But let me know what you guys think. I truly think that anyone that I ask, do you feel that 40 hours gives you the balance that you need in life? 9 times out of 10, they're gonna say no. Did we get here overnight? Absolutely not. We had to first say, okay, what do we want for ourselves? And for me, I wanna work less. Being debt-free has helped us get there. The fact that we are doing so and still have money left over to send to our mortgage, I'm so thankful for. Find your why, whatever it is in life, what's important to you, and do what you can to get there if possible. I don't wanna work forever, and especially when it came to overtime, I finally opened my eyes that when is it enough? Like, are we working overtime to accomplish a goal, or is it to pay bills? Because if it's to pay bills and you need that extra money to make ends meet, let's try to find something else to get us there. But I appreciate you guys so much for watching. My life has completely changed for the better, and I honestly never want to go back. Like the video, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you next time.